I don't know if you've ever been so heavily debated by a countdown timer as you have in the last 20 to 30 minutes. I certainly haven't. But hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Curro Clash National LAN. We are jumping straight into the Valorant finals. I'm Nari Mizuki. If you don't recognize my voice, that's because I'm a little bit sick, and it is what it is. And I'm joined by the wonderful AR Gaming. How are you doing today, man?
Man, absolutely fantastic to be. And that timer always keeping everyone on their toes. We just couldn't wait to get into this action as we get into the agent select screen of this final. PRG against Jaeger Valorant. And already on the side of PRG, they've selected their agents. They've chosen who they want to take into our first map of Lotus, where Jaeger going to be attacking first. And Jaeger still now deciding on the final few agents. But what do you think of this comp so far?
I vibe with the Lotus, with the Neon pick. I think that it's a heavily underutilized agent on this map, and I think that if implemented well, it can be incredibly powerful. Now, I will say that when you come into high school gaming, there's a thin line, right? Just in general of skill level. When you look at like your pros, your up and comers, your kind of lower tier that are still working their way up, etc., etc. Now, high school obviously tends to be on that lower spectrum, just because these are kids. They're learning, they're finding their footing. Nothing wrong with it. It's how you get to where you want to be. But the great thing about it is that you can abuse the heck out of it. So bringing something like a Neon, if you can play that agent well, it doesn't matter what your opponent is going to be playing, you can get some serious advantages.
Yeah, and on top of that, also, it's also a duality. I mean, you could be an absolute beast on Neon with that movement, be hopping all over the place, not to even mention that overdrive, the ult that is basically so hard to go ahead and counter for the most part, especially if you know what you're doing with Neon. 20 seconds on that timer before we get into it. We see the setups coming already from Cypher, setting up beautifully. And Cypher, a lovely pick as well. You know, you play for retakes with certain setups. You can play for just holding down that site. And of course, Lotus, that three-sided map is going to be an interesting one as we get into the first round.
And I think that thought for synergy hasn't been, put into heavily, right? Like one of the reasons you play Killjoy is because you combine it with a Viper, and with a Viper decay, the turret becomes the MVP. So having the Killjoy here without anything to really play off of could kind of hobble that a little bit. So in that regard, I'm somewhat favoring the Cypher. But I do like what Jaeger are doing here, playing for orbs. Get that first orb, then we move. And they pulled a full rotation from Paul Russ. So interesting to note that they actually did manage to get themselves back into position fairly quickly, and they themselves didn't overcommit.
Yeah, and now the smoke's going out. Counter smokes over from Locke as we see the orb get taken again. Lovely shit of shot. That is going to be an Omen diff. As now the orb tries to get taken, Spike is going to go ahead, starting implanted. Another headshot straight up, and we're down to a 4v1 situation. Jaeger, last one left alive, and that will be it. Mars goes down, and the defuse will come off very easily.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that Paul Russ is actually one of the top schools when it comes to esports. A team that, generally does perform very, very well. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do today. That being said, you take a look at the results over the last few days, and it's actually PRG who had kind of come out on top in... Paul Russ. They came out 4-0 without dropping a single series in that group stage. So you are looking towards them to potentially, come out on top here. But for Jaeger, the only team that they would have lost to in the group stage will have been Paul Russ. So for them, this is a little bit of a grudge match, trying to come back into this and prove, they do have what it takes. And now in a best of 3 format, they have a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a safety net in that second map if things don't go well in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if I saw that correctly. I may have seen an Ares getting bored over there. Dizzy's going out. Try to go ahead and blind for Mount. The fault line coming out as well. Once again, trying to go ahead and take as much orbs as possible. The camera gets spotted out by Morty. Will get taken out. Paint shells going through as well. The satchel into sight, but straight into the trip as Keno gets the shots with the Guardians. And just like that, taken down to a 5v1 situation. Mars is left all alone with that classic in hand.
Right click, free gun. Where's the right click? Ah, unlucky. Right click, you're probably good for at least one there if you can get that to land. But unfortunately not to be the case. Yeah, I mean, Lotus, much like Ascent, it's one of those maps where the Ares, more specifically the Odin, it's not super common to see the Ares coming out, but the Odin itself is very, very popular. What I am interested in is where they've opted to place that. And again, not having the Viper for the decay, if you had the Viper, you get that much more value out of it. Now, normally you posture up your SMG, HMG, you posture that up over towards tree, but now it's over towards C, not going to get the full value.
Yeah, and as we say that, going over towards a Judge Judy, Executioner is Thief over there, getting one, but getting taken out in the process. That's an even Steven trade, as now window will try to get broken, door goes open now. Jaeger pushing in, Dizzy goes out, the paint shells were used just a little bit ago as well. Now onto site, Mars gonna go ahead, Morty gonna go and plant as well. Is going to get that plant down, but unfortunately that Aftershock will go ahead and take out Morty. And JD sitting with that Judge in hand. Flashpoint now will go ahead. Peek after that Sinner with that 80s gets taken out. Down by drop, by Vision. Paranoia goes out, does not hit anyone. Kenner gets taken out by Vision. And now they're looking to go ahead and secure their first round. The fault line goes out. 1v1 situation. 71 HP on JD. Gonna go Flashpoint T, tried to go ahead, catch off guard, no one there though. Is gonna go towards the spike, turns away for just 1 second, and Infinity will go ahead and clutch up that round. 2-1 is our score.
Zamporo's kept that a lot closer than it, or rather, Jaeger keep that very, very, very close. I was impressed with how they were actually able to get in onto the site. They bring it down to a 3 versus 3, and they have a decent post-plant setup as well. So it made it very difficult to try to retake, and especially because most of your retake agents are a little bit far away. They have to kind of rotate in. Some of them have already been taken out early in the round. Now to try and retake with, Cypher Util, something like that, you're going to struggle a little bit more with that. I think a lot of what's going to happen in this matchup is it's really going to come down to individual skill. And there it is in 4K for you. A great opener there from Locke and able to slip away into the night.
Yeah, and Infinity taken down to 7 HP as well. Vision now lurking towards B. Maybe going to go ahead, call for a rotate perhaps. There's that Boombot going through tree as well. And yes, it does seem like it will be that rotate J, though, fault line in hand, just waiting for the opportune moment. Is going to opt to go ahead, pull that Phantom out instead. Now just going to go and check corners. Wait for anyone to peek through. We see a Vision going to go ahead, throw out some smokes. And the patience out of these guys. And I say this all the time when it comes to the school leagues. These guys have good communication, good chemistry with each other. And in that situation over there, playing it ever so patiently, not just running through B main, taking your time within this. 40 seconds left on that clock. A 5v3 situation. Mars still going to be over on B.
Oh my God.
Does not spot out, but now the spray comes through. The panic spray does not get those shots. And PRG now with the numbers advantage. Infinity says with 7 HP, I'm going to last a little bit longer. Gets the 1. Looks to go ahead, get a second. There's the shots on the left. Fault line coming through. Waits perfectly, gets a second, but cannot go ahead and survive any longer.
Man, that would have been the freest kill of Mars's life if he just jiggled a little bit more to the left. Cypher was on cam. He would have had no idea. Oh man, that would have been magic. But probably the right call to make, just to back away and not risk, getting absolutely domed. Unfortunately, however, he does come face to face with one of the defenders, and labored spray doesn't quite connect in the way that he wanted it to. And I think that's one of the places where Polrus are really kind of coming out on top here. You've got some of these players that are performing very well and hitting some great shots. And unfortunately, there's very little counter to that.
Yeah, and speaking of little counter, a lot of util to counter over on B main. Smokes down, paint shells out, fault lines and aftershocks, you name it. Camera over there as well. And there was a trip that did get destroyed. Lock now up in hand. I spot out that turret, just waiting patiently. Waiting for anyone to come over and say hello. But it does seem like it's still going to be more of that B commit. Flashpoint now from JD. It is going to go ahead. Hit Judge in hand. Does not get one. Did not know which target to focus over there with the Judge. Now Cage going up as well on Heaven. Lock with that up in hand, proving very deadly. Sukuna though, Judge. And now it's a Judge versus the up. And that spike is right by a Link. He's gonna go ahead, pick up a gun, but that up is just gonna hit Lock with a 3k over in round number 5, securing a 4th round for PRG.
Well, so far, it's looking somewhat as expected. Paulrus looking very strong to kick off this first map. Lock has been great on the op, and it's interesting because it's not something that you typically hand over to your Omen player. Generally, you want someone with a little bit more movement, you know, your Jet or, you know, your Raze, someone that can get the hell out of dodge quickly. And Omen has TP, obviously, but it can get caught out if you're not careful. But Lock has played it very, very well. And unfortunately for Jaeger, they're not pushing him. They're not pressuring him. And they need to be doing that. Get that up off of its angle, run it over, and then you should have a free sight.
Yeah, and Jerry over there actually getting hit a little bit is going to contemplate using that aftershock. Mars just spraying through the cage. Boombot from Sukuna going to go over towards C. Try to spot out whoever may be there. Pain shells as well. And a split going on right now from the side of Jaeger. We see a slight commit over towards A, but that up from Lock proving too powerful. Gets one, and that is the Gecko down as well. That's the ease of planting that spike all the way down. There's that shrouded step straight into an up, unfortunately. Lock just going ahead, but there's the rolling thunder now over onto site. It's not going to really matter that much. It did miss Neon. Thief managing to go ahead, get out of the way, slides, but unfortunately slides into the bullets. Mars last one left. Tries to go ahead, get a shot, gets blinded over there, and then opt one more time. And how many kills has that been with the op right now, Sam?
I don't know, too many. At least 4. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I will say there was some great communication. Make sure that you get the flashpoint to come through, Lock swings, and he's able to connect onto that last player. That's the kind of thing that you need to be seeing from your players, the kind of communication that you need to have. Lucky for Paulrus, they've got such exceptional players here. I'd love to know who's coaching these teams. You know, I always find that interesting. Most teachers are a little bit boomer. Oh, what? The timing on that. You gotta wait for the fault line to hit.
Oh, that's just devastating. Peeking that and knowing that it's that same op from, what, 3 rounds ago that is still getting you. And even if you do manage to get that op out of the way,
God.
That's another 3 right there from Lock, by the way. Lock can most likely go ahead and just buy another one, immediately down to a 4v1 situation. Mars trying desperately to survive, but that op just proving too brutal against the side of Jaeger right now. 6-1 is the score.
And the problem is that the op is so dynamic. Lock is never in the same place 2 rounds in a row. He's constantly moving, constantly finding a new place to try to, you know, set up from. And so because of that, they never know where it is and they keep running into it. Ideally, what I want to see from Jaeger is a little bit of baiting, a little bit of jump spotting, try to bait out that first shot, figure out where the op is. Then your options become, do we try to run it over? So flash it, paint shell it, you know, aftershock it, throw everything we've got, push it off of its position, take it out, and we have a free sight? Or do we avoid it entirely? Now, the second option at this late stage in the game could be more difficult because Lock has the shrouded step. So he's going to be able to TP anywhere he wants to on the map. So if they go anywhere where he isn't, he can very quickly relocate, reposition, and get himself a really solid sightline again. So for Jaeger, I think that their best option here is to try to use their utility to flush Lock out and find a way to shut him down there. And they've got some great util to set up trap plays here. So you know what? You throw out a Dizzy and a Wingman. I learned that from my team's Gecko player. Shout out Squishy. You throw that out at the same time. They have to aim at one. Whichever one that they don't aim at is going to blind them. And then you have an easy flash.
A free shout out over there as well. And you talk about util. Look at the util right now. We have some ults on board. For the side of PRG, just missing 1 over on Cypher over there. For the side of Jaeger, they've got 3 on board. They have that Thrash. They have From the Shadows. They got that Showstopper to try to get onto site. And you mentioned how versatile Lock has been with that op. He took a kill very, very close range in that last round, forcing Jaeger to go ahead, take a timeout, take a breather, think what they need to do. And now those paint shells come through. Moshpit does go out. And there's that Thresh that we spoke about just moments ago. Gonna go ahead, try to clear through sight. But it is gonna be tough. PRG doing such a good job of standing their ground. And it seems almost like PRG, they can read their opponents so easily. They know at the right moment when their opponents are gonna go ahead and rotate. The Rolling Thunder did go out, stunning multiple over there. Getting some kills is PRG down to a 3v2 situation. Paranoia now from Vision will go out. Shrouded Step as well, but Shrouded Steps into Neon, who will go ahead and with style slide and get that elimination. I mean, that update that made 100% accuracy on that slide, it's just proving useful over here.
Yeah, okay, they did tweak that though. They did tweak that because it was very, very busted. The fact that run and gun can be so inaccurate, but then slide and gun is just like perfect accuracy. It's crazy. But there you go, slide and gun, and the shot comes through. Very well done. Vision's TPs, his readjustments have been a bit odd. It certainly felt like they've been a bit too brazen. Kind of just TPing out into the open, getting caught off guard really easily. And that's something that really needs to kind of be looked at because it gives over a relatively free first kill.
No. Oh, this time Locke misses. What's that, 1 in 14 shots right now? I mean, doesn't really take that ratio down too much, but now has the information that Jaeger is over on A. Sinner waiting by the little window. Here's that orb getting taken. Door is opening as well. Tree getting taken right now by Gecko. Looking to go ahead, send out Wingman to plant perhaps. Is stuck in tree right now. As there will be a slow back off actually. Kind of deciding what they want to do. Spike gets dropped but at an untimely position over there. Absolutely gets swung by Neon. Thief getting that free elimination. And now Spike is down. Gets picked up. And the door closes just in time for Jaegers to go ahead, try to get away. And now from the shadows will go ahead and be utilized. But there's one on C already, not known by Vision. You know, here's that spike go down. Playing patiently. We spoke about this a little bit earlier as well. Playing ever so patient. Lock up in hand. Does get taken out. That up finally down. Now Dizzy comes through. The defuse is going through. And that's just tough over there. And that's how useful Gecko is with Wingman going ahead and getting the defuse. Morty, they're getting 1, but still going to get taken out. 9-1 is our score. Oh, sorry, 8-1 is our score, I should say.
Yeah. I felt like that round might have had legs on it. The problem is, so you TP away with the spike, and I understand why you do that. You need to find some, like, space. You need to get the hell out of dodge, away from all of the defenders. The problem is, the rest of your team still needs to rotate in to try to back you up. And it's almost impossible at that point. Then Vision, I like what he does. He goes for the aggressive space into the defender spawn, manages to take out Locke, which was a big kill. But again, he's on his own. He's on an island, and there's no way to stop that defuse from coming through. So as much as the idea was there, I definitely saw the vision. Unfortunately, it could not come to fruition.
Yeah, and what I've noticed what PRG have been doing is they've been taking control of Rubble as much as they possibly can. Except when Locke is over there with that operator. They're obviously playing through. There's that tripwire getting an easy kill, but Mars with that aftershock going to go ahead and trade it out. Morty does get one as well. And now Thrash is online as well. There's Locke again with that off. You know, gets another limb over there. Very, very close. Locke breathing against the wall where Vision is. Gets taken out by Vision. And now a 2v2 situation. Thief just waiting before that shot goes through. Gets the limb. Knows where Vision is. And now the defuse goes down. And just like that, easy elimination. An easy round for the side of PRG.
Great use of the fast lane as well, just to kind of deny those sight lines a little bit there. You can ping bomb, you can try and spam through it, but the fact is, Big Thief fan plays that really well. He's in between the two fast lanes. As the Omen swings out, he swings away, knows where that Omen is, and he can just spam through the smoke. It's perfectly positioned, very, very well done there. And yeah, 9 rounds already for Paul Russ. And with only 2 rounds left in this half, it doesn't bode well for Jaeger. I mean, even if they get these next 2 rounds, you're staring down the barrel of a 9-3. And while we love to talk about the 9-3 curse, it doesn't exist, guys. So I I don't have high hopes for recovery at the end of this half.
And there's that Odin that you spoke about earlier as well, spraying through the door. One of my favorite tactics if I ever go solo on this map. Just pop that scan out and then beam through that door. Not connecting on anyone just yet is going to go ahead. Pop a reload with 77 bullets. You know, yeah, that's a big number that you got to reload with. But the setup over on B as well with those trips. Kenna waiting close by as well. And now Jaeger, they must be wondering what can they do within this. Mars shoots out that one trip. Kenna now pushing through the smoke, looking to catch Mars off guard. Actually, absolutely does. And now a tied over mountain numbers 4v4 situation. Spraying through that door one more time. Jerry with that Odin. That's the last time you're basically going to go ahead and reload with that. Sukuna watching behind, just making sure no one tries to flank over from C. And honestly, on C over there is still lock. And things have slowed down. 30 seconds left on that timer. A play will have to come out here very, very soon. No ults to work with on the side of Jaeger. Still from the shadows over there for the side of PRG. And now Jerry waiting with that fault line. Fault line goes out. Paint shells as well. Will hit Jerry a little bit. Aftershock as well. Odin out. Gets one. Looks for a second. Cannot get the second. 10 seconds left. The plant gonna go down. Cannot be stopped now at this point. It does go down. Infinity get hits just a little bit. Kenno gets taken out now. A 2v1 situation. This time in favor for Jaeger. Sinner gonna go and destroy that turret. Mosh goes out. The swarm grenade as well. Just trying their best to hold back the last member of PRG. Hold him back long enough so that the spike can actually go ahead, detonate, and secure a second round for Jaeger. They're trying to go ahead and get their best case scenario. Neural Theft goes out, finds one, but cannot get the second. Infinity swinging off that elimination from Sinner, and they get their second round. 9-2, still in favor of PRG.
Yeah, I think that was really well played from Infinity and Eggless Morty. Great name, by the way. But I was a little bit worried because they'd kind of split up a bit, and I was like, oh man, you've got to play together, you've got to play contact. But they actually set up a really nice crossfire, and to an extent, they were playing contact. Eggless Morty, okay, he's got a little bit of a shoulder peek going on there. He gets caught out, but as soon as he gets that first kill, a swing can come through from Infinity. So they do play that very, very well. Finally get themselves a second round. One more round here would be amazing. It would definitely stand them in good stead and give them an opportunity on the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Aftershocks now from Mars going through. Spraying with that Guardian. Opting to go ahead. Taps his orb. Knows that the ult is online. There's the Rolling Thunder going through. Satchel going through as well. A little bit of a misstep with that Satchel. The Showstopper is out though. Paint shells go out. Clears drop with that Showstopper and a quick plant from the side of Jaeger. And the only thing that's quicker than that is Neon right now. Going on the side with that overdrive. Gets one. Tries to get a second over there. Does not get the second. But so easy for PRG. They know how to play off of each other so well. And they will take us into that next half with a score of 10-2.
A dominant first half here and a great retake as well. Quite a few of those ultimates still in the back pocket that they could use into this next round, or into that last round rather. And they managed to kind of coordinate that very nicely. That was the only overdrive we saw, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't really have the opportunity to see it earlier on in the round or in the half. And again, I think that's just because Polaris have really felt like they've been in control the whole way through that first defensive side. Now they come over onto the attacking side. And the devastating thing is that this is where this kind of an composition can really activate, because of how easy it is for Neon to reposition, to rotate around if needed. You could even play like a flanking Neon, right? Because the ability for her to get back to the rest of her team quickly if she can get a kill on the extremity is huge.
And we see the combos trying to come out immediately from the side of Jaeger. Trying to go ahead and get that. But
no.
Jenny with the triple aftershock elimination. And I think there was a stun over there from Thief as well. And that's just going to be a quick drop in numbers for the side of Jaeger. And what a thing to witness from these guys. Easy pistol round for the side of PRG. That was a triple with the aftershock in the pistol round. And that's got to be heartbreaking for the side of Jaeger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that one. Yeah, yeah. You take that time out, boys. Uh, I think the mental definitely starts to crack after something like that happens. And it was so simple. The first kill that came through was with paint shells, and the next three kills was from the aftershock. Sorry, not the aftershock. The
Yeah, it's Aftershock.
Yeah, it is Aftershock. I'm right. Sorry, I'm thinking. I always confuse Fault Line and Aftershock for some reason. But yeah, it's a little bit egregious. And the thing that facilitates it is a flash. Like that's it, one flash, and they didn't know where to go, didn't know where to run. The util comes out, you can't see anything, and three people just get absolutely destroyed there. That's
Yeah.
devastating.
Oof.
I do see
Well,
that we got a little bit of a disconnect there. So more than likely we'll have a little bit of a timeout where we wait for Locke to try and find his way back into the game. But I mean, this has been very one-sided, which is a bit devastating. I think if you're Jaeger, you come through the group stage 3-1, only lose one game, and you can't pull it back for the final.
mm, yeah, no, absolutely. And again, PRG went 4-0 earlier. They are on this point where they play so well that it's almost expected. When you hear the name PRG, you know
Yeah.
that it's talented individuals. You know that no matter what they do, they're going to be playing well, whether it be Valorant, whatever game they can get their hands on. It's going to be an absolute dominating show. And now quickly over onto B side. There's the Suns going through, the judge in hand. I mean, this is what you love to see with Neon. The slides, the one-shot eliminations, and gets a second, looks for a third. Unfortunately, it's taken out by Mars with that Stinger 3v3 situation now. Spike is planted. Mars gonna go ahead, wildly spray through the smoke.
Oh
And
no.
Marshall hip firing over there, beats out that Sheriff. Vision gonna go ahead, pick that Sheriff up, but low as well. Sprays through, gets the elimination. Is Jerry. Sinner getting the other elimination as well. And now we are on match point for the side of PRG.
That was very rough. It's always fun to watch the Stingers get some love and to get results as well. But unfortunately, in that attempt at a retake, there was still an Ares on board. I think that the reliance on the Ares is perhaps a little bit too much. My team will tell you I'm not a fan of the heavy machine guns, but I often get vetoed because they're fun. So, and it did pay off. It did pay off. The spam through the smoke there is what helped them to secure that round. So, fair enough.
I mean, if you're not having fun, you're playing the game wrong. As Chi gets opened up very, very quickly. We'll see Infinity throw down that Mosh. Smokes go down from the side of Locke, looking to go ahead, use that paranoia as well. There's the slide with the judges. The aftershock might catch a little bit of damage. Does not, unfortunately. Infinity blinded. This does get taken out by Jerry, and with that Ares nonetheless. Morty breaks the trip, goes through, and yeah, we're at the point where we're just gonna call this map a wraps. Get that next one booted up. PRG go ahead and take that first map of Lotus so dominantly.
And yeah, of course, that's, as you say, our very, very first map done and dusted. Pretty darn one-sided. I was really enjoying watching the Neon really have fun. Really, Big Thief just so uncontested and got away with absolute murder in so many of those rounds there. So it's always enjoyable to watch. But I look forward to seeing what's going to happen, obviously, in our next map, because we're not going to take a break, folks. We're going to be jumping straight into it as soon as possible. And I think that, there's still some signs of life here for Jaeger. I think that there's still an opportunity for them to turn it around. So hopefully they can make that happen.
Absolutely. And our next map also going to go ahead and be Sunset, with the side of PRG defending first. And now it's do or die for the most part over here for the Jaegers. They need to go ahead. They need to lock in. They can't make those mistakes that they've done. We saw some of those shrouded steps a little bit questionable over there, going forth straight into an opponent or into their bullets, straight up, getting eliminated, not getting the intel that you want, not going ahead and get the positioning. So they will need to go ahead and play this out as perfectly as they possibly can. But here we are, agent select screen for what could be the final map of today on Sunset, as these guys go ahead and lock in their agents.
And I will say, guys, for those of you watching, remember this is the high school league, and ACGL is very, very involved with high school esports. So, you know, if you want to get involved, maybe chat to your school, see if you can get a team going, and maybe you can also be here on one of our broadcasts and showing what your school is made of. I would love that. I love that there are so many high schools that are getting involved. And also, if you're not in high school and you want to get involved, go check out the ACGL website. There's a competition going at the moment. If you join House Valorant, right? You go do that, you get us points, and then this is for the Mythic 24, and the title that gets the most points at the end of the month will have a massive tournament at the end of the year. So, you know, if you want that game to be Valorant, then, you know, head on over, join House Valorant, and help us farm up those points. Even these guys that are in the high school league, you know, all of the teams participating in Curro, go join House Valorant. Join us, come to our side.
I mean, who doesn't love a good old-fashioned Valorant tournament? I mean, come on.
True.
Don't you guys want to see that? Let's get those numbers up. Let's get that tournament done, because we know it's going to be absolutely exciting. But there's the picks. We get loaded into the map. And once again, it's do or die for the side of Jaegers. They need to go ahead and play this perfectly, get as much rounds as they possibly can, hold back the beast that is PRG for as long as they possibly can. Get the elims that they need to get the site placements that they need to get. Make sure that it's clear all the time, not just swing through as quickly as possible. You got to clear your corners over here. PRG is a force to be reckoned with, as we just saw in that first map. So they will have to go ahead and play this a little bit more smarter, but not any less harder.
I will say what interests me is that we have like almost no changes to the compositions. I think the only change is the Sky and the Cypher for Jaeger, which is okay. You know, comfort picks, fair enough. Sometimes that is the play here. You play what you think is the most comfortable, and you try to make that work for you.
Yeah, Paranoia comes through, and now just going to go ahead, hold back the opposition for as long as possible. The shadows go out as well. Aftershocks, Paranoias, you name it, you'll see it everywhere as JD goes ahead, gets that Aftershock elimination, and that makes 4, I think, for the total of today. Locke gets taken out by Sukuna over there, but that's going to be a quick round for the side of PLG.
So much of that comes off the back of the Cypher cam as well, right? Like you get so much early information, spots out the Trailblazer, as well as I believe it was the Breach. So you've got a couple of players that are running across there. Plus, you know, the Sky is nearby. You're like, all right, guys, I'm thinking it's going to be a B hit. Don't ask me how I know, but I have a feeling. And so you pull those rotations. It's a pistol round. The chances of it being a fake or a, you know, a quick rotate away are very low. And they're able to retake nicely. And look at this, the solo B. I mean, there is so much faith here in this Cypher to, you know, stall for as long as possible and call in those rotations.
Yeah, puts down that cage, sees the fault line, goes through that blind, does not hit. The cage now gets triggered and will go ahead, shoot through. There's the one. Does not know Sugna's pushing up very, very close, but still gets the second. Looks for a third, but Keno gets that elimination with the Garden, gets Iglis Morty as well. And then a judge just to end off that second round as well.
And a reminder, folks, this is the Clash LAN. So obviously, as you can see, our players are on stage. They've got their fans there watching and observing how they perform. And it's really cool. I love this so much. I love that we have so much support for these high school kids that are, you know, up and coming into esports. It's so fantastic. I could gush all day about it. It makes me so happy. But what doesn't make me happy is we're not dealing with Cypher trips, right? And that's so important. And you have the util to do it. A couple of paint shells. If you had a Sova, you'd have some shock darts. You can deal with that. And we need to see that more. Oh, no.
We had the same reaction over there. The blind just coming through at the perfect time for that judge to go ahead and get the elimination. Locke gonna go ahead and take out Iglis Morty as well. 5v3 situation almost instantly. Infinity gonna go ahead, look towards A one more time. Spike is outside of A, but the numbers just dropping so quickly. And Cam are gonna go ahead, spot out where Thief is. And now trying to play it as slow as possible. I mean, you have that numbers disadvantage. You got to go ahead and play this very smart to try to get that site all yours. Try to go ahead and get that plant successfully. And then on top of that, you got to deal with a wingman who can go ahead and defuse it as well. You got to protect that spike with your life. And that is exactly what they're going to try to do. 40 seconds left on the clock. Infinity leading the charge. JD waiting behind that little box. That Jin with that judge in hand. Boombot goes out towards Ali. Does not check behind. Gets judged in the back. But Mars going to go ahead. Get 2. There's potentially an ace as well.
Got one.
It's out the camera. Camera gets taken out. 17 seconds left on the timer. We'll go ahead and spot out where one is. Gets the 4th. Looking for the ace, but cannot go ahead and get it. So close. Connected with a shot, even while stunned. And that is going to be the defuse. And I don't know if you could feel the tension over there from the side of PRG as soon as that 4th elimination happened.
Yeah. I saw the vision there. I was waiting for that ace to come through, but that stun, we talk about how stun is a cosmetic effect, but in this particular instance, it was not cosmetic. And Big Thief fan was able to capitalize on that quite nicely here. It's making things a bit rough. I don't know, Jaeger need to pull something really big out of the bag here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vision gonna go ahead, peek through tiles, move through tiles down, bottom mid. Lock gonna go ahead, utilize that smoke. Vision holding that pixel perfect angles, just waiting. Sees that smoke go through. Now looking over towards Market. It does seem like we are splitting up just a little bit. Keno gets the first elimination over on Infinity. That's the raise down. Sukuna now. Flashpoint gonna go ahead. Blind just a little bit. Aftershock going through as well. Trying to clear back of this box. Now rushing through elbow. Keno right there. Wingman goes down. Dizzy goes out as well.
There it is.
And there's an easy 2 kill for Keno. Waiting now for the last one to push through. That relay bolt goes out. Does not hit. Vision will go ahead. Get the 1 elimination. The shrouded step behind Keno, but does go ahead. Keno turns around just in time. Gets that shot. And that's our score, 4-0.
Do you know what? I could see him getting that kill onto Keno. I could see it happening, man. But unfortunately, he was a bit stunned up there and wasn't able to actually connect properly. But I saw it. It could have been sick. Could have been an absolute banger. All right. So what are the adaptations now? Because we need to see some changes come through here. I think one of the biggest issues we're seeing is a lack of a default. We're just kind of full sending it round after round. And on this map, when you are struggling, getting that early map control can make such a big difference. And right now, there just isn't any map control.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just rushing forth within this, trying to go ahead, take up as much space as possible. And in that situation, there's something like this that happens where you're running directly into a flash. You're that close to your opponent. And even though that smoke went down, you still got eliminated. And just spraying through the smoke, that was such a quick round for the side of PRG. And a flawless round nonetheless, taking that score up to 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one, right? You've got inferior weaponry to try and make something happen. And smoke spam is OP. we know this, there's a little bit of tap through the smokes there. And especially if all the players are just kind of hanging out on the other side of that smoke. They haven't backed away. They're not really giving the respect. I will say that something that has become very popular in South African Valorant is to not respect smokes. A lot of what some of the best teams are doing right now, they don't care. They will walk through a smoke because you don't expect them to walk through a smoke. You expect them to play non-psychotic. So, that could be the thing here that Jaeger needs to maybe play into. Try to take that space, try to push through unexpectedly, flash through a smoke, and, potentially run into 3 players and mow them all down.
And we just saw it there over again. You just talked about it. A little tap through that smoke as Eggless Morty getting that lovely shot on Lock. And that's a massive kill right there. Immediately going ahead, getting that numbers advantage. But now, what are you going to do with it? Do not throw away your shot is what you got to do, as they are going to go ahead, push through Market now. Noodle Theft goes out as well. We'll go ahead. Mark Sinner in Boba. Shot landing just a little bit, but Sinner just a little bit better on that shot. And if I'm not mistaken, Eggless Morty might have actually just walked into that bullet. just by accident. Big D fan now goes ahead and relay bot, slides through, gets the one now. Does not slide a second time, gets taken out. The aftershock, and now it's a breach versus breach situation.
Ooh.
And Zukana is gonna go and get that first round on that scoreboard.
What a great clutch. I love the way that he played around the site there, manages to pick up that gun and actually able to get that final kill. Very, very well played. He's on the high ground. He's got a bit of an advantage and he's able to get those shots to connect quite nicely. Love that. Now we need to see that happen a little bit more. And again, this was a bit of an adaptation on some of their previous rounds. Okay, yes, it was still a full send of sorts. You had all 5 players pushing up through mid, but it was the first time that they'd really taken any mid control, which we really hadn't seen a lot of. And with some well-placed smokes, they were able to deny a lot of sight lines, and they forced Polrus to play that a little bit more safe. So if they can do something similar again, I will say, Polrus, the confidence that their players are showing, Sinner on site there, standing in the middle of nowhere and still getting 2 kills because he knows, you know, in his mind, he's like, I'm better. And having that confidence is such a big game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence is key within this, and that Boombot going with confidence through the door into market does not spot out where Sinner is. March down as well. And trying to do the same thing again. Take that mid control, play off of your picks. Vision down to 45 HP though. Will go and get hit and get healed up. Of course, that's the beauty of having a Sky on your team. Now, a little bit lost is what it's seeming Jaegers to be. They're not sure where exactly they want to go from here. They got that mid control. They backed up from it. And we see Sinner actually going to go ahead and hold with Keno in market. Just waiting for the opportune moment. Shift walking coming through from both teams now. Almost a standstill. There's the fault line going through. Sinner gets stunned, gets taken out by Mars. Infinity, a little bit blinded over this. Does manage to survive though. Keno in Boba gets one, gets blinded however. Spike gets dropped, gets picked up nonetheless. And now Thrash is online. It will go ahead. Check through market, dashes through, maybe. Does it catch? It does not catch, and doesn't even matter. Locke is over there with that 4K to go ahead and clutch up around. 6-1 is the score.
Yeah, another outrageous round from Locke, really. I mean, he's been such a strong performer throughout so many of these rounds. Just throughout the course of the series in general, right? He's really stepped up and performed incredibly well. Man has got some snappy aim. I do also just want to point out Big Thief fan, because while he may not be highest in kills, he doesn't have any deaths. Man is just out here living his best life.
True, very true. And honestly has that overdrive online as well. Talk about eliminations, could go ahead and get a couple with that as very soon as this round. Infinity will go ahead. Backup Omen over there. Destroys that camera vision now. Gonna go ahead back up, and so will Infinity. Down to Sheriffs, unfortunately. We'll have to go ahead, be precise with those shots. Hits for a 55 on Big D Fan, but not enough. There's the shots coming through. That slide being utilized so much. And we talked about the kills on Big D Fan. Instantly goes ahead and gets a 3K.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes when you call out a player and you're like, oh, they're not top of the scoreboard, and they go, watch me. Honestly.
Hold my drink. I got this.
Truly. All right. Well, it's a great time to show up as well. I've really been enjoying the Neon here. I think that it's not necessarily a case of like the Neon doing things that any other duelist wouldn't necessarily do. You know, Big Thief fan is hitting his shots. He's performing really well. But it's always fun to see the crazy power slides and running around like a Sonic that's had too much Red Bull, you know.
Yeah.
It's always an enjoyment. Unfortunately for Jaeger, they're definitely not enjoying it, and particularly after that round. But I see they're setting up some util here. Let's see if they get any value off of it. They've cleared the close angle, and oh, very nice. The cabbages to come seek for enemies.
Yeah, and I do think that paint shells also destroyed the trip as well. Shroud Step will go out from vision. The plant will go down almost instantly. A 3v3 situation. We did lose some numbers over there. Send to go ahead and get Sukuna out. There's the Rolling Thunder coming through, but still the elimination from vision will get taken out nonetheless. 2v1 situation. Infinity low as well. Looking for that last ditch effort. Pops that showstopper, but gets taken out. and the defuse will go through, securing an 8th round for the side of PRG.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That showstopper was ambitious. I'm not too sure how much you're going to get done there. You know you're in a 1 versus 2, and one of them is probably holding for you to peek out and to do something crazy. And of course, as soon as they hear the sound of the ultimate going off, well, they're keeping an eye out for it. So I respect the attempt. And again, I could see the vision, but unfortunately, it just did not connect in the way that they would have wanted. And Big Thief, okay, 2 deaths now. I think I miscalculated a little bit earlier on, but still, it's a crazy KD. And when you're a duelist player, that's all you really care about, right? You want the big KD number.
Well, of course you do. You want to be at that top of the board. And speaking of which, on that board, I did see that Odin in hand of Jerry over there. We see him in that corner over there from Lock, just waiting for someone to walk into that spray area of that Odin. Now again, playing it a little bit slow is the side of Vegas. 8-1 is the score. They have to make a play. Very similar score to what we saw in that last map. Big Thief fan gets an elimination. Vision takes out Sinner, but immediately gets taken out by Keno. Flashpoint. And unfortunately, putting out the util at the wrong time there. Sukuna gets taken out. 4v1 situation now. Infinity, the last one left alive, has the boombot, has those 2 satchels still. Phantom in hand, has the spike. The jump peek from Thief. The immediate slide off as well. Does get hit a little bit, and there's the util spam coming through. There's the Odin, and that's just devastating right there. Swarming the final player of Jaegers just to go ahead, get that elimination, and get that score up to 9-1.
I mean, I like the adaptation that we saw from Jaeger. I like the fact that they tried to do a bit of a split, take some of that mid control, but it felt like the mid push was a little bit too trigger happy. You know, you need to wait for your teammates to make a little bit of noise, try to clear out that space first, particularly when you haven't done any faking or splitting. It should be fairly easy to pull those rotations you've conditioned, but they get a little bit too quick on the draw. They push out. They don't really optimally use that utility to find that space, and well, very quickly they're put out of their misery, and it's another round that just does not go their way. They've got such good ideas, but the execution just isn't where it needs to be.
And Lock straight up said over there, if you at first you don't succeed, try again. It's just jiggle peeking and firing, trying to get that headshot. We do see Big Thief get taken out. Lock takes out Vision over there, and still the numbers advantage for the side of PRG. Lock now. Paranoia goes out. It does go ahead. Blind Infinity. Sinner gets the elimination. Morty goes ahead, takes out Lock, but still down to a 3v1 situation as Keno takes out Eggless Morty. Sukuna last one with that Guardian, takes 1 out, but Sinner right there to go ahead and take that score up to 10-1.
Last round before the switch.
One more round here on this half for Jaeger to try and make some miracles happen. On Lotus, it was a 10-2 half, so we may yet see them pull something out of the bag for this one. I'm not too sure. I don't know if we could... Ah, thank you so much, production. I was about to ask for the tab. Ooh, Spectres, not great. Half armor, 1 ultimate, and not... We've got no fencing ultimates at the moment. No ultimates that are about to come online, so very little to actually work with in this round. It's going to be a struggle. I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to win this one.
Yeah, it's looking to be a grim round immediately off the bat. Camera will go ahead and get destroyed. And you talk about those ultimates, that overdrive still in the back pocket of Big Thief over there. We saw Big Thief actually pop it out late on. I do believe it was the final round before the half on the last map. Trailblazer will go out as well for info. And the one ultimate that has been on the side for Jaeger is down as well. 5v4 situation as we're just getting down to that 1 minute on the timer. And they are opting to go down through bottom mid. Maybe go through what tiles. Try to get that mid control one more time. We do see Big Thief fan going through spawn. Does hit a few shots. Gets taken out by Infinity. Infinity now very, very low. 25 HP. Vision. Getting that Vandal is a big deal over there. Gonna go ahead, get a couple eliminations. And now backing off, going towards B perhaps. Yes, they will go ahead, rotate towards B. 30 seconds on the clock. 3v2 situation. But even in this 3v2 situation, 2 of the players on Jaeger is quite low. And even the third one that is still doing decently is not as decent as the last 2 players on the side of PRG. And nevertheless, there's an Odin in JD's hand as well. Fault line now goes out. A counter fault line at the same time. Lock gets 1 elimination. JD gets the elimination on Sukuna and immediately turning the tables. And that's where that low HP came into play. Shadow Step protecting JD on the spike. Vision going up top. Ruboba gets the 1. Looking for the second. Gets flashed. Sprays, but unfortunately not enough damage to go ahead and take us into 10-2 for the next half. JD left with 70 HP and the score left at 11-1.
Switching sides.
That was such a close round, and again, like that was going so well for them. So unfortunately, you've got Mars, who goes into mid to try and get an early pick so that he can use his ultimate, right? But he gets taken offline. Now that leaves so much space for Big Thief Fan to push out of A main to start wrapping around, setting up a lurk. But Infinity knows that it's happened, and Infinity is holding for it. Somehow, Infinity actually wins that duel. They're then able to get a numbers advantage as Vision wins out the battle in mid, getting 2 of his own. And they have everything going for them. But, I mean, again, like so the teleports themselves didn't really have an impact, but it's kind of an indicative sign, like some really strange util usage there, and that has been the detrimental factor for Jaeger.
Yeah, and that fault line almost cost Big Thief over there. Gets stunned in the middle of those paint shells, but now gets blinded from that flashpoint. Get Infinity getting taken out by JD1 back behind the box. Big Thief Fan not looking towards Ali though, gets taken out. And Spike is down, and now a 3v1 situation, and Jaeger actually going ahead, getting that pistol down as a dub, taking that score up to 11-2, saying, we might be in the water, but we're not drowning just yet. We're going to stay up. We're going to try to breathe for as long as possible, and they get themselves that pistol round. And maybe that's just the determination that they do need within this.
A pistol round is the absolute bare minimum that they need to keep themselves alive here. But there's still so much more to get done. A 9-round deficit they're going to have to climb through. They do have a good comp to try to stall things out a bit. The Polros looking to get very aggressive here, taking this mid push. They could get pincered in here. It's a great opportunity for Jaeger.
Yeah, and Big Thief Fan has that shorty in hand, though. They have to be careful of that. We know how devastating a Neon is with a shotgun in hand. No delay. Bald Spike does get taken out, so gonna get in that elimination on JD. That's good. That's the fault line down. The flashpoint's down as well. Mars pushing up a little bit with that Bulldog 4v4 situation. Keno getting the elimination on Mars with that Sheriff now has a gun in hand. Slide through. There's the Bucky shot. Does not hit though. Infinity with that Spectre goes ahead. Sprays down the last 2. 11-3. They're not out of it yet. They're saying we want to survive for as long as possible.
Of course, they're breathing a slight sigh of relief after winning those 2 rounds, but here's the problem. This round should have been their bonus, but they've lost 4 of their players, which means that they're going to have to heavily reinvest into this. If they lose this round, not only do they lose all of their weaponry, they lose all of their money, and they make it very, very difficult to put a buy together in the last round for map and series points. So this round is an absolute must-win for Jaeger. A single misstep could cost them the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And Big Thief Fan again, Bucky in hand, looking to go ahead, get that slide elimination. Aftershocks going through, fault lines as well. Now looking to go ahead to get the first pick. Lock gets one with that Bucky. There's that smokes going out. Tries to get a second. Eggless Morty though, taking out Lock. 4v4 situation still. Infinity very, very low now. Still managed to get that elimination on JD with that Guardian. Now on the high ground, Anakin spots the little feet of Sinner over there, but does not look close. And Big Thief Fan gets 2 with that Bucky. Still a 2v2 situation. Time ticking away on that Spike. Big Thief Fan 1 HP. Sinner gets the 1. There's that tripwire gonna go ahead and get the second 12-3 is the score, and now we're at match point for PRG.
Oh, a lot of questionable stuff happening there, right? You had a player boosted up on the boxes in the back of the site, firing down at the player behind the tin can, and Big Thief fan can see where those shots are coming from. So as soon as the smoke dissipates, he just has to aim up and shoot at the player up there, and the player up there is not even cognizant that that could be something that would happen, right? It's these small mistakes. Vision again TPing into a very odd situation and instantly gets taken out for it. Util usage here, definitely something that I feel like Jaeger could improve on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And Keno now on that Thrash, gonna go ahead, clear out backside, just outside of Bo, but Dizzy goes out as well. Mars getting the elimination with that Stinger, gets taken out though, spraying through that smoke. Was Big Thief fan. Spectre in hand though. You see the shots come through now. There's two from Iglis Morty. And they get that round, doing very, very well. Playing off of each other very, very well. Getting that fourth round that they need.
That's a solid retake as well. I feel like the Thrash didn't get as much value as it could or should have. The thing is, Thrash is not something for just clearing on the site. Because, and you saw it happen, it goes backside, it runs through, past Boba, down towards Market. As soon as it passes Boba, the Sky is able to just push through onto backside. And they're like, backside's clear, but no, it's actually not clearing anymore because Sky has pulled out. You need to be very specific about what you're doing with Thrash, where you're clearing, and what information you're getting.
And we hear that sound. It is devastating. The overdrive now from Big Thief fan is in play. Relay bot goes out. There's one. Looking to get maybe more, but Mars waiting right there for that trade. 4v4 situation now, and it does seem like the side of PRG maybe wanting to commit through to Market, and they are chilling in Market. There's the neural theft going out as well. JD now gonna move back through mid, the rotate over to A. Of course, that neural theft giving all the information that they need. The quick steps from the side of PRG making their way over towards A through elbow. On the side of Jaeger though, one in alley, one down short as the spike will go ahead. Initiating the plant, will get planted. 3v2 situation as Cinder takes out Infinity. Flashpoint from Sukuna. Still manages to go ahead and take out Keno, who's shot first over there, but shooting first is not always good. Cinder takes out Sukuna, not watching behind through spawn. Now 2v1 situation. Vision. It lies all on your shoulders as the aftershock comes through. And now you're in somewhat of a bad spot. It's still very winnable. But will you be able to win it? Do you believe in miracles? No time. You have to go ahead. You have to hit it. And the knife as the final kill from JD goes ahead and makes PRG the victors for today.
Yeah, I think that there really wasn't, there weren't too many options there for Vision, unfortunately. You could argue maybe tap the spike, but with how quickly it was ticking down, time was not on his side. And he had to make a decision. He had to try to stick it. And unfortunately, Jerry was right behind him. So it was very easy to retake control of that one. A huge congratulations to Paul Riss, who have won this out in a pretty darn clean one-sided 2-0 series. But Jaeger had some signs of life. And I think that, you know, with a little bit of time, with a little bit of training, with a little bit of patience and coaching, they could come back as a formidable force. So hopefully we'll see them again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so fantastic to watch all of these high school students go through the future of esports, as I keep on saying when we're in these school leagues. Not only just opening up the doors for esports generally in South Africa, but for the next, the future generations of esports. This is the stepping stones that they need to go ahead and meet their heroes that we saw even earlier this year go through, and then choose to go ahead for organizations, for schools, and push South Africa forward in esports. Nonetheless, it's absolutely fantastic what is happening over here with Curro and ACGL as well. Always creating opportunities for these young fellas to go ahead and make a name for themselves in the games that they just love to casually play. They can now go ahead and make a full-on career out of it if they want to.
Absolutely. So, of course, folks, this was the Curro Clash National LAN for the Valorant Finals, and that's going to be us signing off in just a moment. But I do just want to give you guys a little bit of information about this, because unfortunately, we jumped in at the beginning so quickly, and these are things that matter. Curro are doing a lot for the high school esports scene. They're running a tournament or a few different tournaments over the course of this weekend. Games ranging from Minecraft, Valorant, Overwatch, and Rocket League. Rocket League wrapped up yesterday, and of course today is the end of the Valorant, but over the next couple of days we'll have Minecraft and we'll have Overwatch for you guys, so make sure that you come and check it out and support the local esports scene, specifically the high school players. Really looking forward to seeing what they do over the weekend, and of course in partnership with ACGL, who run a lot of the tournaments and the broadcast, of course. So very grateful for them and their commitment to high school. And remember, guys, if you're in a school, go and chat to them about potentially putting a team together and joining the ASL, the high school league, so that you too can be a part of this wonderful initiative and kickstart your potential career in esports. Not everybody has to be a rugby player, guys. You're allowed to play PC every now and then. This is not professional advice. Please don't quote me on this. Parents, don't come fight me. But I would love to see more kids getting involved in esports. And remember, even if you're not in high school, you can come and join ACGL, where they run tournaments on the weekly for a variety of different games. Come join House Valorant, help us get points. Mythic 24 coming at you very shortly, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I've been Nari, this has been AR. We'll be back tomorrow with more amazing Curro gaming magic, but until then, have a wonderful evening.